Nottinghamshire completely dominated the opening day of their top-of-the-table LV County Championship clash with Somerset at Trent Bridge, as the visitors produced their worst day of the summer with only their captain Marcus Trescothick able to hold his head up high, while the home side excelled thanks in part to Phil Jakes' rapid 100. Trescothick won the toss and batted first at a ground where the home side easily chased down 385 to meet Middlesex last week. This was a different day once that Chris Jones played on and attempted leave to give Peter Siddle an early wicket. The green-tinged pitch looked ideal for the home seam attack, and Harry Gurney backed up the work of Siddle by having Nick Compton caught behind for a duck. It was a pitch which required a good technique and temperament to survive. Alvaro Peterson didn't show either as he top-edged an attempted pull off Gurney to give Ricky Vessels a good catch running back from the slips. Andre Adams then came on to bowl James Hildreth, who made no attempt to play a shot, to leave with his side in trouble on 46 for 4 just into the second hour of the game. It should have been even worse for the visitors, but on 22 Trescothick was spilled in the slips by Samit Patel off Gurney. The Somerset skipper has missed the last couple of T20 games due to a groin strain, but he was back for this important match, which saw second and third up against each other, third placed and unbeaten Somerset with a game in hand, knowing that a win here would possibly make them favourites to win the title for the first time in their long history. Trescothick and Craig Keys were to stop the rot for 14 overs, but straight after lunch, the latter was LBW to Adams for 17 to end a 48-run partnership for the 5th wicket. Peter Trigo came and went in a hurry as he edged his 6th ball to Alex Hales to give Gurney his 3rd success of the day. Trescothick was still there, however, and a cut off Gurney brought up his 50 and his side's 100 off the same ball. Trescothick was keeping the innings together as he reached his mark with his 9th 4 off his 90th delivery. He desperately needed someone to stick with him now. That person wasn't Craig Macheda, who lobbed a simple catch to Jakes at mid-off off the bowling of Ajmal Shahzad. Macheda had made 14 out of a stand of 40. The rest were blown away sharpish, with only Trescothick able to handle what was thrown at him. He looked as if he might even carry his bat, especially when Craig Overton was the 8th man out with the score on 140. He made a duck after nicking off to Adams. Trescothick was playing a different game than the rest of his team as he moved into the 80s to take his side past 150. He was finally dismissed after making 87 out of a score of 155. Patel this time with a stunning diving catch to earn Siddle his 2nd wicket and make Notts cock a hoop. 13 runs were then put on by the final pair, but Jamie Overton edged Shahzad to Vessels, and in 51.2 overs Somerset were all out for just 168. The wicket shared around the 4 Nottinghamshire seamers. The hope for Somerset now was that only one of their batsmen had made a decent score, and so there must have been some help from the pitch. With bags of time left in the day, they now had the chance to fight back with the ball in their hands. Instead, Jakes and the returning Stephen Mullaney, preferred at the top of the order to the in-form Hales, went after the bowling from the off to make this a very one-sided day of cricket. So good were these two that they kept up a run rate in excess of 5 per over in a 203-run opening partnership. Jakes, who will be leaving the county next month, was first to his 50, which came off just 57 balls. It was reached with his 9th 4 before he and his partner brought up the 100 in the 22nd over. Mullaney was delighted to be back in the team, brought in because of an injury to Michael Lum, and he made the most of his recall by reaching his own half-century off 69 balls, that being his 10th and certainly most fortunate 4. Jamie Overton had a great time last year and was talked about an England player of the near future. This season has been less kind to him and he was horribly expensive here, his 7 overs costing 58 runs as Jakes really tucked into him. Brother Craig, meanwhile, was probably the pick of the Somerset attack, which was by no means at its best without Alphonso Thomas. Nottinghamshire rarely use a frontline spinner at home, and George Dockrell could probably work out why when Mullaney eased him down the ground for a 6 as the partnership moved beyond 150. Incredibly, Notts were soon into the lead with all of their wickets intact, with both batsmen looking to get to 3 figures before bedtime. Mullaney had moved on to 86 when Jakes did get to his 100, although there was an element of luck in the shot that took him there. Nottinghamshire will be really pleased with what he's done at the top of the order for them this year. This was his second 100 of the summer, and it arrived off just 109 deliveries, that being his 18th four. Alas, Mulaney couldn't join him, and a top-edge sweep off Dockrell was caught by Trigo as the batsman departed rather forlornly for 91, made out of a thrilling opening stand of 203 in 40 overs. Just 5 more runs were added before the close, so Nottinghamshire will go again on the second morning, already well ahead in this contest, with Jake still there on 111, and with the likes of James Taylor, Patel and the ludicrously informed Vessels still to come. Notts have made 208 for 1, so they are already 40 runs to the good.